more like past goal, do not collect $42,200 or actually lose $42,200. So I finally pulled them out. I'm going to start with an account review today because this number is quite a bit changed. It used to be 178, now it's 136,800. So I did not lose this money overnight. I just pulled them out of the account. If you notice the cash account balance here, you'll see that it's now sitting at 7,297 and the 1,000 free margin that I get from Robinhood, which is where I've placed my cap at for the moment since I'm just sitting in cash. Now, the rest of the numbers are not going to make much sense. So as you can see here in the upper left or your right corner outline here, I'm going to do the account review first and show you why all the numbers now are going to be a bit more jumbled up, but actually a tad bit more realistic too moving forward. So I'm going to start with this, 1 week performance and then run down the line and explain things. The 1 week, 1 month performance are going to be pretty accurate. It's not going to be much swayed by the missing money. But when we go all the way up to probably year to date, that's a bit unfair because I did not gain that percentage. But the 1 year, that's unfair either. And the all-time chart is definitely not going to make much sense. But more sense than it did before, probably. So 355% all-time chart, start investing in August 28, 2018. You'll see that now when we go scroll all the way back, it actually reflects the original 30,000 in there. The reason why I was so flat before this line, because the account had like $1,000 in it, or a few thousand, and it wasn't much. And then all these numbers from here are going to look unrealistic again because this wasn't 15,000 here at the bottom. This was more like 60,000 or add 42,000 something. I don't know. It's like 60 something thousand. And so the numbers are going to be a little less realistic than the actual numbers, but it's no way to calculate what the performance of the account was at this point now. Because I added most of the money here in 2021. And then I got some gains on them and then losses on them. So it's hard to tell what the performance of the account is. And for that reason, I'm actually going to start altering, I think, the reporting of what's going on here to the general public. And I might change the direction of the channel, as you can see at number 4. I'll talk about that a little bit. But first, let me just continue with the account review. These are my options plays at the moment. You'll notice that I have a few calendar spreads. I'm going to talk about one of them a little bit more in detail, or all three actually. And then here are my positions. I still have 400 shares of Apple, Realty Income, Main Street Capital are still in my account. This is my watch list down here. Smith & Wesson is dropping. It's already 11, but we'll see if it keeps dropping any further. I actually had a nice day today. Let's go into the account tab. The reason why I mentioned Smith & Wesson is because I was a large shareholder. I had like 85,000 grand in Smith & Wesson just up until not too long ago. So here's the account breakdown, the circle chart, cash to equity and options ratio. Then we have the stocks. Apple, biggest return, equity is now 61,000. These numbers look a lot smaller than they used to. When I was all levered up and I had $350,000 under management, now my entire account is the number you see at the front, which is 136,802. So there you go. All positions in the green. They're my 3 core positions, it appears, because I've been holding them ever since the beginning of the account, those 3 positions. Everything else has been up on the chopping block, including my most recent Paramount and Smith & Wesson plays, which were my biggest blunders. Can they recover? Did they recover? Yes. Did I make money on them? No. Absolutely categorically lost money. Like 40 grand or something. I don't know, 30, 40 grand on those 2 positions. Even after they recovered a little bit and I was able to have somewhat of a graceful exit, or more graceful exit than I would have if I sold at the bottom. But still, those are my 2 biggest blunders. Do I regret it? No. I was just off on the timing, and I think the overall market sentiment really affected my trading or my investment. Do I still like Paramount and Smith & Wesson? Yes, but I'm less bullish than I used to be before. I still like Smith & Wesson out of the two options. Let me see what Paramount is at actually. So Paramount, PARA is the ticker symbol. They're at 23. I actually exited about 20, 21. So not too bad. Not too much different than when I exited. So this is the 1 year chart. That means I exited somewhere around here. Just after the little New Year bump. It had a nice peak and now it's on the way down, kind of like consolidating. Now maybe it's having another run up. Who knows? But definitely did not make money on this trade. I went pretty heavily. Didn't make money. And same with Smith & Wesson. So let's see if I can pull that chart up. 1 day, let's see the week, 1 month, 3 month. It's the 1 year chart. So I exited somewhere around here at this level. Most of my shares. And then it had a little run up. But same with Paramount, really. Same kind of movement. So I definitely got this downtrend wrong too. I thought it was about to get ready to turn around based on valuation, but there's some other, elements in the company that prevented it from catching a bid outside of the, environment, market sentiment, and macroeconomic environment, including their cash spend, which I'm still yet to determine like what's going on there. Moving on. So that's the account really. If you want to see anything else about the account, I'm definitely be happy to show you. This is a very public account, so feel free to ask any questions and I'll show you anything. If you want to see the transaction, I can even show you the transaction. Let's go into the history here. Actually, I don't know. I don't want to bother right now. Whatever. I don't even know where the history tab is right now. So anyways, moving on. Trade update. Let's go with the trades. So I have these calendar spreads. I actually made a little poll to see what people want to see me put on a calendar spread, more calendar spreads, or an iron butterfly. And the poll won that people want to see some more calendar spreads, so I put on a couple more. So here it is. I have a 152.5 put calendar spread. I have a 150 and a 155 put calendar spread, and they're all expiring at the end of the week. So we'll see how that goes. It looks like they're green today because the stock didn't move much. But if Apple makes a pretty big move, then the stock will move a lot, and it will go against me. So all of them are in the green so far. I think this one is 13% in the green, or $12. The 152. I think the 150 is the oldest one. Let me see. So this one is also in the green. It was up 23% today, but only 11% overall, or just $8. And then the last one is the 155, which I put on yesterday. So I kind of spread them out a little bit, the strike prices. And this one's also up. This one's up 17.3%. So all of them are in the green. That's subject to change if the stock decides to move out of this range, right? So if it moves out of this like 150 to 155 range, I'm going to start losing money on some of these positions. But if it keeps staying in there, then they're just going to keep racking up theta decay. And I'm going to end up in the green. So that's the trade update. I want to talk about butterfly spread. So what is a butterfly? It's not, iron butterfly is not a butterfly. There might be some confusion there between you guys, I don't know, or option traders in general, because of these similar names of everything, but it's actually not the same thing. So I'm going to show you how to put on a butterfly spread, and it doesn't involve a peanut butter jar and a knife, okay? It just involves one expiration date and 4 contracts. Now, I tried doing this just a moment ago, and it would only let me purchase one option per. You can break it down and put it on yourself and be more correct. But it's supposed to be buying a call in the money. So let's say I buy the 148 option, call option, and then you sell 2 at the money. So let's say we sell 2 at 152.5, and I'm supposed to sell 2 here, but I'll just sell the one above it or actually below it. How about that? At 150. And then I'm supposed to buy one above. So I'm going to buy the 157.5. And actually, let me buy this one, so it's a little more realistic. Okay, so what's going to end up happening is, if you can balance the wings better, it's supposed to be a pretty symmetric trade, but it just looks asymmetric because I can't sell the same contract, really. At least right now. I can edit it perhaps later, or if I do the wings individually. But the basic idea is that it behaves very much like an iron condor, let's say, or a similar strategy, to where you benefit from the price being within a certain range with a flat line at the top as a maximum payout. Okay, do you see? So it's just basically another way of doing an iron condor, or at least get similar results. It's why would somebody do something like this and put on a butterfly instead of a condor? Is, for example, if one side of the options is a lot cheaper than the other. So let's say the put options are trading for cheaper or something like that, or the call options happen to be skewed, then you may want to put your entire spread on only on the call options instead of call and put, because when you do an iron condor, you do a bull call spread and a bear put spread, right? So it's a little bit different, but that's how you put on a butterfly, so you don't get confused. It's different than an iron butterfly. Okay, an iron butterfly is basically an iron condor with the same strike price without a range, so it kind of peaks out at the top. All right, so let me show you here. So let's reset this. Trade options. Okay, same expiry date. Okay, so you're gonna be buying, you're gonna sell a call. Okay, let's say at the 155 level, and you're gonna buy a call above it, and then you sell a put right at the 155, the same thing, and then buy a put below. And you see it's gonna give you a little bit of a, oh my gosh, I need to pick a different date. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's go to the March 3rd. All right, so sell call at 155, buy call a little bit above, sell put at 155, buy put a little bit below. And so you see how it goes. Apple price at expiration here, 155 is your maximum payout, and so the payout kind of peaks. So it looks like a pixelated calendar spread in a way. Do you see this? Where a calendar spread, these payout curves accelerate a little bit and the losing curves decelerate. These kind of flat line. Okay, so there's a difference there. But I just didn't want any confusion. Okay, so the butterfly is different than iron butterfly. just a little categorization change here. And lastly, I want to talk about the direction of the channel. So this was originally, this channel, after doing almost 500, well actually more than 500 videos on here. This was originally a video log for me to keep track of my mental state whenever I'm making trades and be able to reflect back on it and look at it. And because I have no shame, I share it on the internet, and in fact it gives me more motivation to record these videos because I kind of feel like obligated to keep up a little bit more because it's just out there, and I don't want to see myself as somebody who quits. I'm just not really a quitter type of personality. And so it's extra motivation for me to actually keep recording and keep journaling what my mental state is at each investing phase here of the account. So I've made recently a pretty drastic change. I've pulled out some of the money that I've never should have put in the first place, that I put in 2021 mostly, a few thousand in 2020, and even a few thousand back in 2019 and so forth. I haven't put any money into it in the last year or more, but I've made a drastic change to reset the number to 30,000. But now, because the numbers don't make any sense, like if I start reviewing the account and everybody sees this chart, right, they will get the wrong impression that my all-time, is actually 356%, which there's actually no way, it's not accurate. I have not made 355% in 4 years, right? I have used the gains and or losses, which are incalculable in my mind, to affect that number. So this is going to be false I'm not advertising anything, but it's going to be false information for people who are viewing, right? Only I'm going to know the truth, and you, now that you're watching the video, if you're watching it, will know what actually happened here. So these numbers are bogus. They're not. The previous one was not real either, and this one is also not real. So no one will ever know what the performance is. Only I kind of, maybe, we that we're watching this video together, right, can kind of figure out, okay, maybe this is what the exact return is. So I don't want to give false impression to people who are new to this, watching this, what the actual performance is. So I'm going to probably stop showing the all-time chart. And that's the reason why. It's not that this account is not completely transparent. It is. Look, there's the all-time chart now. This is what happened. Money came in, money came out. This is the result. This is how the percentage got reflected. And I warned about this for like many weeks now. Like 2 weeks I've been warning about this or more, that this is going to happen to the account and these numbers are going to look a little bit weird, okay, because the baseline money is going to be taken out, the percentage is going to get skewed. So it will be definitely a false impression to anyone who just tuning in, and I don't want that false impression. I don't want people to think that I actually did the 355 from the original 30,000, which is not the case. So that's number one. I might stop showing the all-time chart unless somebody really requests it. Then I'll go through the lengths of actually explaining all this again and trying to fit everything into perspective. Number two, I'm still going to try to make this channel to 1 million, this account. I'm still going to try to take it to 1 million. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'll stick to it as long as it takes. And I'm sure it's going to be, an emotional finish whenever that happens, when I'm like 95 or something, if I'm still alive. All right. So it might take a long time, but I want to still keep doing it. I'm still holding true to that challenge I set out for myself 4.5 years ago now. And even though the going is really slow, I haven't given up or anything like that. So I'm still going with that. However, I'm going to have to try to do some things in the meantime to diversify this channel a little bit, because I'm starting to find new passions of just talking about different investment things. I've done so many videos on random educational topics that I want to explain, and I want to continue to do that. Like, I know that I'm not the best teacher out there. I don't even crop my videos. I don't cut them. I don't have many visual aids, but I do want to help anyone who has, questions or is interested about specific topics from like a down-to-earth, regular conversational style teaching, because me personally, that's how I learn. So I don't like super complicated stuff. I just want to talk to a person and they can show me or tell me like how something is done, or they can shed some wisdom on specific topics. Like, I listen to podcasts. I don't even mind not having visuals to get explanations done. Like, I can picture stuff in my mind, and for wisdoms and lessons learned, you don't really need visuals anyways. So that's how I learned. So there's got to be like more people like me out there, even if it's an extremely slow slow. Ain't that the truth? Freudian slip, correct. I'm slow. But even if the percentage of people like me is low, I'm sure that they exist somewhere, and I prefer more of a conversational style learning environment, which is exactly what I like. So I'm going to mix in with some learning, and I don't know. I mean, I'm really obviously interested in finance. I'm not necessarily interested in the news aspect of finance. I might comment on some things every once in a while about some news topics that I find interesting, but I'm not a newsy kind of person anyway. So besides the educational stuff, I want to really focus on specific trades like I've been doing in the last week or two. So I've been doing some calendar spreads, and I've also been posting on the YouTube, whatever it's called, I don't know, channel. I don't know. Many of you can see the posts. Some of you have liked them, like maybe 12 or 15 of you have liked the post, and that lets me know that at least it's getting to some people and they can view it. I've also done a couple of polls, right? Or at least one. So I'm going to do stuff like that more to where it's like real time update. So whenever I close out a trade, I'm going to post it immediately. Okay. So if it happens to be at 10 a.m. or 1 p.m. or whatever it is, I'm going to take a screenshot and just post it immediately on the channel so you know I've completed the trade if you're interested in that. And I'll briefly type in the outcome, like I've done minus 40% or I've gained 90% on this trade or whatever it is. And so I'll do more like individual trade tracking rather than a whole account tracking. I will still show the account every once in a while, but with this format here, okay, you'll just see this number, right? So you can kind of keep track of where I'm at overall, but I'm not gonna like go through and do a relative comparison to S&P, or did I beat the S&P? Maybe I'll do it every once in a while because that's kind of like my true measure. But I think focusing on individual trades is gonna be more fun, all right, and perhaps more engaging. So whenever I put on a trade that I think is important, or maybe requested by a poll or something like that I do, or on a comment, maybe you write down in the comments like, hey, I want to know how, diagonal spreads work. Can you put on a diagonal spread next week and let's follow it together? I'm 100% going to do it. We'll do a diagonal spread. I'll pick a ticker. I'll pick some expirations, and we'll do a diagonal spread and see how it performs over the week. And I'll post a screenshot when I think it's a good exit point. I don't necessarily recommend that anyone follows the exact trades I do, but definitely what you can do is use it as a reference. It's like, oh, okay, well, Slav put on this trade and it didn't do too well a few weeks in a row or whatever it is. Maybe I should either modify it or try to do something different, or maybe it doesn't work for him because his strike price was way out of whack, or whatever you think the reason is. You could learn it, you can use it as a learning tool. Kind of like when I watch, I don't know if many of you know, but I was tennis pro and a tennis teacher and coach, whatever. And when I watch tennis matches, like I can immediately tell, okay, well, this play didn't work because this and that, right? It was the wrong shot selection, or the aggression level wasn't there on specific play, or whatever it is. So I can learn from other people's mistakes, and I think it'd be a good resource for others to learn from my mistakes or my triumphs, right, on specific trades. So I think that that's the direction I want to try to take this, not just as a emotional outlet or recording device of my mental state whenever the markets go against me or for me, but actually have a little bit of have a little bit of entertaining and useful data and value in there. But I do want to hear from you. I mean, I know that there's a few of you that watch my videos, maybe 20 of you or something, 25, I don't know how many, and usually watch them to the end. I do want to know from you guys, like, if this sounds like something you'd want to see or not, because I'm certainly thinking of doing it, and it sounds fun to me. So let me know if it sounds fun to you. All right, I'm going to end it right there. Hopefully you guys are doing better than I am, especially losing these $42,000. I'll make another video as soon as I can. I'm looking forward to reading some of your comments. Peace out.